All right, I'm gonna say this ahead of time. I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers. What I'm finna say, and I could be wrong, but it's just my observation. Something I just noticed, over the years from when I was a kid. But one reason why I stopped going to church, especially like the church I grew up at, I think a lot of these churches are like cults. If I'm being honest. A lot of these pastors, from conversations I've had with other friends and people over the years from different walks of life and different paths that I've come across, I hear a lot of the similar stories in regards to why people left church and things that went on in their church. And I'm not here to go into details about things I've seen at the church I used to go to, because that's for, God to deal with, and besides, I mean, I know that's all people want to look for, something to gossip about instead of just having like a real like conversation, because I'm just trying to see if I'm tripping. But I was talking to someone, man, and we were just building and breaking down different things we've experienced, and I was just telling them how, like, I just came to the conclusion, like, a lot of these churches ain't no different than, the cults that are amongst the United States in different forms. Like some people say, like, when you join a sorority or a fraternity, that's a cult. Or, some people say, like, if you down with the Masons or whatever, that's like, cult stuff. But I do remember, like, in this movie, it said, like, everybody got a gang, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta have something to represent you, and you gotta be a part of something. And also in the movie, they were saying that everybody looking for someone to lead them, in some form of fashion. They want to be a part of some type of tribe. And a lot of reasons why people go to church, ain't for the right reason anyway. I think that's been concluded for a long time. That's been like the thesis. Like, it's kind of like business. But if in regards to my theory on why it's a cult, it's like if you grow up in a small town church and it's this continuous theme of the same type of actions repeating itself, and we saying things like we just gonna give it to the Lord, kids are way more intelligent than what you may give them credit for, because it's like they watch things and they observe things and they can pick up on patterns, and